Hello everyone. Just want to jump on today and first of all just share the beautiful jungle. It's a rainy season here, so it's been very humid and hot, which I love, but also a ton of bugs, and right now there's actually no bugs, which is crazy, so we'll see how long I can sit outside without getting attacked by bugs. Well, today I want to talk about trust and faith and God and flow. I want to do a few videos on how I've changed, how Mexico has changed me, and how I've grown since moving to Mexico. And one of the biggest things that I've learned since coming here, it's been almost 4 years since I moved here. And, I came from New York City, so really high intense energy, a lot of doing and going, a lot of masculine energy. And since I've been here almost 4 years, it'll be 4 years in March, I've been so connected to the nature, to the trees, to the water. I'm so lucky where I live. I don't know if you can hear the birds, but I just wake up to hear the birds singing every morning, and I work in the ocean and can walk barefoot on the earth, and it's really been helping me heal my feminine energy. And I didn't really even know what feminine energy was until kind of recently. And I think it's because I wasn't connected to it at all. And the US and cities like New York are really, really high, strong masculine energy, and women are kind of put into these roles that are too masculine for them, and they're left working really hard and suppressing their feminine energy just to buy and just to support themselves. And I definitely struggled with that a lot. And since coming here and living in Mexico and doing so much healing since I got here, I've been able to connect back to my intuition, to my heart, to my feelings. And that's really what the feminine energy is. And today I want to talk about flow and trust. And when I was in New York, I would always be planning and doing and going and making lists, and I still do that. I love being organized, but I didn't have any trust. I didn't even have that word in my vocabulary. I mean, I knew what it meant, but I didn't resonate with it. Trust, gratitude, faith, and God. These are what are coming through for me to talk about today. And trust is the opposite of anxiety. So it's knowing that, believing, surrendering yourself, your life to a higher power, believing that you're loved and you're looked after, and there's energies conspiring to help you, and there's energies that want to help you and are listening. They just want you to reach out to them. And trusting, it's it's harder to do, but once you get used to doing it, it's so fun. I love just kind of surrendering whatever I'm doing to the flow, to the divine, to God, whatever you want to call it, whoever you want to believe in, that you believe is looking after you and helping you. And it's if I'm doing something and it feels like I'm pushing really hard, or I'm trying really hard, or nobody's responding, or it's too difficult, I just put it aside for another day, and then I come back to it. And usually by the time I come back to it, I'm drawn back to it by my feminine energy, by my emotions, by my intuition, by my feelings. And usually by the time I'm drawn back to it is the time that it's supposed to work out, and it's easy, and it's just boom. And it's just so interesting how that happens. And the more you practice it, the more you see oh, it works like that. You don't have to force it in the moment. You just set it aside, move on to something else. Also, I'm a manifesting generator, so I've learned that for me, it's really key to do what feels good in the moment as well. Obviously, I'm still organized with my masculine and things like that, but having that flow is so important for the feminine energy. The feminine energy is intuition, it's creativity, it's feeling, it's sensuality. And I've really been able to heal that so deeply. I mean, I'm still healing that for sure. And I feel like I'll always be healing that. And I feel like that's something that we came here for, to heal our hearts. And it's kind of like a never-ending process. So try to think of something today, maybe that you're pushing, whether it can be something so simple too, just as planning something with a colleague at work, or just trying to resolve something at work, or maybe it's a relationship or something like that you feel like you're pushing too hard, and try to let it go and see if it comes back. And then faith and God. And yeah, it's like, before I moved to Mexico, I didn't really believe in anything, and I definitely wouldn't have identified myself as like an atheist. I grew up in a very, I don't even know how to describe it. I'll talk more about it on another video, but I grew up in a family that didn't have beliefs around God. And yeah, we weren't atheists, but it was like, if you don't believe in anything, like, you're kind of believing in the opposite of love, the opposite of God, which is fear, death, torture, suffering, the devil, whatever you want to call it. So our beliefs are what create everything. And I'm sure you've heard this before. I feel like everybody's talking about manifestation and beliefs and this and that, but this is our superpower as human beings, is our beliefs. So your lack of belief is still a belief in something. So I remember when I first came to like feeling God, and sometimes it's like you don't really know that you're lost until you find your way back. So when I first started to connect with God and prayer and a higher power, and believing that something out there loves me and wants to help me, it soothes my anxiety. It just helps me to be like, oh, somebody's with me. I'm not alone. And then you start to not feel alone. You start to feel more connected to all the human beings, because they're children of God and I'm a child of God, and we're brothers and sisters, and we're all going through this together. We're all one, and we're all one with the animals and the plants. And this is feminine energy. This is feminine energies, the plants and earth. And we are part of earth. And we can heal just by walking on the earth and being in the sun and climbing trees and talking to trees and swimming in the water. And I mean, this is our birthright, and this is how we can heal and come back to where we belong. And I remember the first time that I felt my heart in my body was 3.5 years ago. And I was, before coming to Mexico, I was addicted to drugs and alcohol for 10 years. And I suffered a lot with not knowing how to feel my pain. And I remember the first time I felt my heart in an ayahuasca ceremony, I felt like I was like the Tin Man, like being turned on. Like, in the Wizard of Oz, when the Tin Man, like, his heart starts to work and he's like all happy and he's like, la la la, I am one, like I am connected with my source. I felt it in my body. Like, if you close your eyes and you can feel your heart beating in your chest. I could never do that until 3 years ago. And it was a really difficult ceremony. It was really sad. I was crying, and my heart was showing me all the suffering that we went through. And my heart was suffering alone because I wasn't letting my heart feel with it. I was blocking it with the alcohol and the drugs because I didn't know how to feel. And so my heart and I were experiencing all this suffering that we were going through together years ago. And it was very sad, but I felt happy at the same time, and energized and brought back to myself. And it's just crazy. Ever since that moment, I've never been disconnected from my heart again. And it's one of those things where you don't know that you're disconnected until you come back. So that's how I felt about coming home in my heart and coming home to God. And I just want to say, yeah, if you're in a city, or you feel like you can't really connect to nature or earth, I mean, try to go to the park and put your feet in the earth. I know when I was in New York, I was so frustrated because I couldn't even put my feet in the earth. But there's a lot of things you can do to connect to that love frequency, whether it's listening to healing music while you go to sleep of nature, getting some sunlight in some possible way, like right when you wake up in the morning. Between 2 hours after sunrise is best. 2 hours after sunrise and 2 hours before sunset is really good for helping you sleep and to align your hormones. So when you look at the sun right after it rises and right before you go to sleep, your pineal gland right here, which helps you dream, it produces your dreams, it helps you connect to your intuition, to your spirit. It produces what is it? Oh, melatonin. It produces melatonin in the morning, and then 12 hours later, it activates your pineal gland, and then 12 hours later, you have melatonin being put out into your body. So around 7 or 8, 6, 7, 8 p.m., you start to feel tired naturally, and then you go to sleep earlier, and then you can wake up earlier. When you watch the sunset, it's the same thing. I'm not sure which hormone it is that's released at night, but I think it's maybe cortisol or something that helps you wake up. But yeah, so try your best to connect to nature, and even through your breath, you can connect to the elements of nature and earth and God through your breath. And gratitude is one other thing that I've been able to learn about and connect and add to my vocabulary since moving to Mexico. I never used the word. I never felt grateful for anything. I was in a lot of suffering for sure, and even if we're in suffering, we can still find things to be grateful for, and this is a frequency that can help you to shift out of that suffering state. And gratitude has transformed my life in so many ways. And gratitude, just like manifestation, it's one of those things where you have to implement it. You have to find a way for it to work within your life. And there's so many ways you can add it to your life. But doing that, you actually have to do it and embody it, and you'll start to feel that you become more grateful for things in that moment. And like I'm saying, if you have a gratitude practice, like I have a practice where every morning I express and try to add it into your routine. So maybe while you're driving to work, or maybe while you're doing your morning walk or something, while you're journaling. I prefer to just speak while I'm walking because I walk a lot to go into town and things like that. And it's kind of a prayer at the same time. So I'm saying like, thank you, God, thank you, divine, thank you, whoever you want to give your thanks to. It can just be to love, it can be to your family, it can be to your heart, to your healing. Thank you so much for this, and this. And usually there's 3 steps to this. Sometimes I just do the first part because I just do it until I start to feel good. You'll start to feel that you start feeling good. You have to do it until you start to shift your energy. And it's especially helpful when you're not feeling good, when you're not feeling grateful, to force yourself to do this and to sit and marinate in that gratitude as long as it takes until you start to feel like, all right, like I really do love, my bed sheets, and that coffee this morning was really good, and I really do love getting to see the sunrise. Whatever it is, it can be so small, but really shifting into that, like, ooh, that was really nice, I like that. Spend as much time. Sometimes I could take 30 minutes to do this. You can definitely do it quicker, but after you say your gratitude and you're feeling that like love, that appreciation, that like, thank you so much, this feels so good, I love this. Even your meal, like before you eat, just be like, thank you so much to all the people that brought this food to me, to the people the farmers that made this food, to the earth, to the people that delivered it, to my boss that gave me money to buy it. Expressing gratitude in that moment for your food. So anyway, before I go on a tangent, you express your gratitude, and then the second 2 parts are like the really fun parts. So those are the parts where you're manifesting, you're asking. So once you express gratitude, your energy is really open and able to ask for more. So you can say, I want my day to be like this. So you start to manifest your day. So it's best to do it in the morning, and you can talk about it as if it already happened. So you want to say like, today I went to work, I had the most incredible day ever. I taught a wonderful class. I felt so strong in my body afterwards. I had an amazing lunch on the beach for free. Somebody ended up buying me lunch. I went swimming. I fell asleep in the sun. I got 3 new clients, blah, 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 blah. And then the third part, you're gonna ask for what you want in the future. So that can be tomorrow, it can be in the future, like a week from now or 5 years from now. And then again, you talk about it like you already have it. So here you can get super detailed, and you can do this in meditation as well and use your imagination and just envision yourself in your dream home, in your dream car, with your dream partner, with your dream job. And again, just talk about it like you have it already. So like, I love waking up in the morning and watching the sunrise from my bedroom, my big king-size bedroom overlooking the mountains, and you know, you got the gist. So that's all I have for you today. I hope you all have an amazing day. I just want to send so much love to everybody out there, and I'll see you soon. Bye.